What is up, you guys? Welcome to the next episode of The Dilemma. After this video, I've decided to try and post The Dilemma every Sunday just so everyone knows when to expect the next episode to come out. Create some semblance of order in this chaos that is my YouTube channel. So with that public service announcement out of the way, on to this week's topic, which is DLC, microtransactions, and season passes. Fun. Immediately when someone says microtransactions and DLC, a lot of people get that weird feeling in the mouth after you wake up and you have a glass of water. When the mouth is dry and the saliva still has to be produced, so the sudden wetness just feels weird. Yeah, like that. Only way, way worse. But it wasn't always like that. DLCs, or downloadable content, is a relatively new word, at least from my experience, seeing as in the old days, we used to call these things expansions. Internet speeds wasn't always as fast and decently priced as it is nowadays, so physical media was a lot more popular back then than it is now. Expansions were extra content that game devs released to enhance the game by adding a lot more stuff to the original game, and also sometimes adding in some new game mechanics as well that differed from the originals. These expansions were released usually within a couple of months or years from the main game, but they added a significant amount of content that would justify the wait. Notable examples such as Warcraft 3's Frozen Throne, Diablo 2's Lord of Destruction, Elder Scrolls Morrowind's Tribunal, and Blood Moon expansions. All of these expansions improved the base game greatly for each of their respective games. Fast forward a couple of years to the 6th gen consoles when online connectivity was starting to become a huge new thing for mainstream gamers, as gaming consoles started to become more than just pure offline single-player gaming experiences. They could connect to the internet more easily, as by then internet prices were more reasonable for that many households across the world. Games were getting more expensive to make, so the need for a publisher was more of a necessity now more than ever. It was round about at that time I started seeing a shift in gaming. Games made by AAA devs weren't sold as passion projects anymore, well, at least from my perspective at least. Then come the 7th gen of consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One. Microtransactions started making their way into the mainstream of gaming. I was so excited the moment I got my new PS4, ready to try out the new hardware, see what this new gen has to offer. The first game I got for it was Mortal Kombat X, or 10 if that's your preference. I saw that Goro was included as free DLC, I use that in apostrophes, with my copy of the game, which struck me as odd because Goro was a heavy-hitting Mortal Kombat, pun intended. For such an important character, I found it odd that he wasn't included initially as maybe an unlockable character or secret character. But no, he's being sold as optional for $5. $5! For an old fan favorite character of the series, I was shocked that they'd cut him out and just sell him back to the customers. Then I got even more worried when I saw you could actually buy easy fatality tokens to make fatalities easier. What? For an old fan of the series, this was a big shock to me. Growing up, fatalities were difficult to execute because you had a nice big payoff at the end if you did it perfectly, because then you get to see, I don't know, Scorpion tear off parts of his enemy before snapping his neck in a gory fashion, for instance. Now Warner Brothers are giving you the option of buying tokens and activating it with ease. Having options are always nice, but some things that's been with the series since the beginning, charging for it seems like a greedy move in my opinion. That's only the start of it. Microtransactions in AAA games, in my opinion, shouldn't belong there. They should seclude themselves behind the walls that is mobile gaming. Publishers are becoming more and more greedy because there are actually people who buy into the microtransactions, which is a dangerous gamble, if you ask me. You're proving to the game devs and publishers that there is money to be made selling you bits and pieces of a game, encouraging them to make games with these pay-to-win methods in mind, or fee-to-play, as Jim Sterling cited or coined the phrase, so to speak. Dead Space 3 was a train wreck because of these fee-to-play practices, because you pay full price for a game, and yet they still have the audacity to expect you to pay for more resources in the game. What's the point of playing it then, if you can just give your wallet here and make the game a cakewalk? This is when microtransactions became such a heated and hated topic among gamers because the whole core of the game can be changed to include and promote these business models at the customer's expense. And people are still buying them. Among the arsenal of weapons publishers can use to fish money out of our wallets are the ever famous season passes. The whole idea of a season pass lies in it being a gamble and whether or not you trust a dev with your money before even knowing what you're going to get as they release the game to the player. I bought one season pass in my life and will never again. The game in question? Fallout 4, one of the darlings of RPG fans everywhere. I thought that going by what Bethesda released previously for their older games, buying a season pass would be a safe bet. Boy was I wrong. I got the pass when it was $30, but even then it felt like it cost a bit too much in what we got out of it. 3 out of the 5 DLCs are glorified Sims-like extras that focuses more on the workshop aspect of the game instead of a decent story-based DLC like previous games had. And Bethesda had the audacity to up the price and charge $50 for it. This little experience made me realize how much faith you are putting into something and really playing with fate whether or not it's going to work out. You are paying devs upfront for content that hasn't been released yet. And more often than not, all you have to go by are little snippets of info that the developers have released themselves, making it sound more tantalizing to the consumer, tempting them to buy these almighty season passes. But DLC aren't all that bad. Witcher 3 is a good example of DLC done right. CD Projekt Red released 16 bits of DLC free of charge to add to an otherwise already content-packed and full game experience, as well as releasing 2 paid DLCs, which are called expansion packs because they added a significant amount of gameplay to the game and spoke to my inner old person, even though I'm just like 22. This is how to do DLC right. No tempting you to buy more resources to make things easier for you. No paying X amount to reach the end of the game. Just pure passion for a game they love, which immediately poured over to the fans, seeing as Witcher 3 was one of, if not the best game released in 2015. Smaller indie devs make use of DLC in a creative way. Thea 4, for example, released to a decent fanfare on Steam with good ratings as well. So good in fact that developers decided to make the next 2 DLC free of charge to drum up sales. But after the release of the first DLC, they didn't have a lot of sales to justify taking away the price tag. So the devs decided to make a new DLC, one that isn't really a DLC at all. You pay $5, give or take, and then get new snazzy cards, but the purpose of the DLCs is actually to act like an improvised or glorified donate button, since donation buttons aren't allowed on Steam. So it's a pretty creative way that the devs use to get around the whole topic to allow the fans to actually support the developers, if they was inclined to do so. The dilemma is thus, are DLC going to get better before they get worse? Are greedy publishers and devs still going to push their luck and see how much money they can siphon from our wallets before gamers have had enough? Are you totally okay with current DLC trends we have now and aren't all that bothered? Don't even buy DLC. Make a note in the comments and also maybe leave a like or a sub if you like to see more of these types of episodes. I'll try to do them weekly. I'll try to release them every Sunday to make it easier on you guys just to create some semblance of order in, as I said, this chaotic YouTube channel of mine. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Hope you guys had a nice day. Cheers. Here's a potato for long post. Sorry about that.